What's going on? I want to thank you for coming to Vape with the Viking. So today what I got for you is a little bit of RDA action. This is the Tannhauzer V2. This is a new collaboration with Unicorn Vapes, and I said it completely wrong in the dive down. It's PSD-BD, which is poisoned blood. So a little pre-apologies there. Completely butchered that in the dive down, so I might even have edited it out. Not sure. So, but you know, Poison Blood, he has done some collaborations with Unicorn as well before, and just too many letters, man. Just too many letters. Why can't just PB? Poison Blood, peanut butter, poison blood, same thing. Yeah. But this is a 24 millimeter kind of old school RDA that one of the TRV crew members actually had purchased. We did a little tradey swappy thing and got this sent to me. So thank you very much to Mr. Jimmy James. He got some stuff, I got some stuff. So hey, we all got stuffs. But got some triple C coils in here running at a 0.1 as usual on the vert. Let's see how this goes here. Doing really well. And of course, since it's going to be a nice kind of open air, very crackly type of vape, I of course had to throw in a juice that I use for that kind of vaping, which would be Dark Star's scones. I don't use a ton of it, as you can see. I kind of savor it, and it's for specific, really warm, lots of airflow type of builds. So, but before we get down into this RDA and we come back up, pros, cons, prices, all that kind of good stuff. Couple of things as usual, you know, Mad Viking's Advocacy moment. Or minute? Moment? I like moment. We'll do moment. How's that? Like I tell everybody, definitely go on to Twitter. Twitter is the Vape Advocacy Battleground. Definitely support what I'm calling our Vape Advocate Generals, which is Grim Green, Matt from Suck My Mod, Phil, Dimitri, the old school guys, and even, you know, the Vaping Bogan. There are lots of people, even around the globe, reviewer or not, that are fighting for everyone's rights to vape. So it's for everybody. So please definitely give them some follows, some retweets, and get up-to-date information there. And come on to TRV Discord. We do actually have a section that has nothing but up-to-date, as close as possible, vape advocacy stuff in there as well. And of course, ADHD awareness coming from the TRV crew fam right there. Hashtag beautiful, not broken. Basically, what I like to try to do is take away the social stigma that is ADHD. And in my generation, you know, people were called broken, stupid, lazy, because we really didn't understand the disorder. We don't fully still yet understand it, but at least now it's becoming more forefront that it is a disorder. So please, 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 you can take it from somebody old enough that had to change their vocabulary. It is a disorder. It is a real thing. So please try to find somebody with it. Do some of your own research and, you know, try to find somebody that's what we call neurodiverse and let them know, because it could literally make their entire week. Just go up to them and say, hey, you know, you're not broken, you're beautiful. So there you go. It's all in hashtag. So, but definitely check out, you know, any resources available to you if you or someone you know does have the disorder. It can be genetic. That's another reason I jumped on board of that as well. The kiddo got it. My bad. So, but one of the resources I use a ton of is Jessica McAbee from How to ADHD on YouTube. She has YouTube, Discord, Patreon, all that kind of good stuff. And really great lady, and really great advocate and information out there on her channel. So, but all that's done. Let's see. I'm ready. Are you ready? Yeah, we're ready. Let's drop the hammer on the Tannhauzer V2. All right, so what I got for you today is the Tannhauzer Gate V2. This is a RDA from Unicorn Vapes. So inside the pouch, you're gonna get, of course, the RDA itself and a bag of accessories, which is gonna be your squonk pin, your Allen key, all your O-rings, and some grub screws for the deck, which are, of course, Allen. Thank you very much for that. 8 flat heads. Right, and then here's the RDA itself. It is something a little different compared to what Unicorn usually tends to do. It is a 24 millimeter RDA, and if you see, there's not a whole lot to it on the outside at first appearance, but then when you really kind of get into the finer details, you'll see, of course, the logo design here, which, you know, definitely you can tell is a skull. If you look at it in a different way, it almost looks like a globe, but that indeed is a skull, and a 2 on there. And then across the top, you have add
something at agendum. Yeah, I Ad, yeah, I can't even tell you what it is. It's a language I'm not quite aware of. It almost looks like Latin. I would say it's Latin, but I'm not sure. So might take and slowly replay that back, and you might be able to see what that stands for. But of course, up top you do have a super low 810 drip tip. But if you don't like something that low, because I mean, if you look, that thing is super thin. I'm gonna love it. But it is just a regular goon style or O-ringless 810 will fit in there. It's a nice flush flat top to it, so you're not gonna have to probably worry about some of your 810s that look weird because of a lip or anything like that on there. It's nice, it's flat, it's kind of a blank slate. But if you do not mind that kind of drip tip, that is I don't know, pretty sexy in my opinion. And then you got the airflows on each side, very simplistic. When you turn your AFC, it is literally just going to be cutting the airflow off left to right. Let's see if I can get the light on there better. There we go. It is a little hard right now because I've not cleaned it up. But yeah, if you see, it's just cutting the airflow off. It's pretty simple in that it's nice and thin. So it's going to be more of a direct airflow than some of the honeycomb and stuff like that as well. On the bottom, you're going to see, your serial number, and then of course, Tannhauzer Gate RDA V2, and that is a collective edition. So, and if I remember right, he worked with a couple people on this guy right here. Ooh, that was me. And of course, that symbol right there is PSDA. I can never remember right. One of the guys that he has done collabs with and is on Unicorn's Discord, and he does a lot of Instagram posts on a lot of Unicorn's products. So he works with him quite a bit. And then, of course, you do have a silver-plated 510 connection right there, the little pin there. And it is hybrid safe. As you can see, the pin is protruding past the stainless steel threading. Basically, the only thing that I would ever say, if you could, as a designer, and it's such a little tiny thing, is I wish a little more of that peak insulator was either completely flush with the threading or even a little past. So, get to the deck here. As you see, it does have some cutouts for the top of the barrel. The barrel does have a lock mechanism, but it also has a little bit of adjustment room in there as well. So that's what those specific cutouts are going to be for, is the locking mechanism. So on the top itself, as you see, got a nice dome to it, and then you can also see the little locks on the inside. Pulling off the top out of the barrel, it's just a very plain, simple slit. So there are no steps or locks or anything like that, so it's going to be able to free move on you, and that's where you get the adjustments. It's just going to be cutting down or up the airflow just by the rotation there. And then on the deck itself, you do have that nice anodized blue to it, and you got two there if you spin it over. So you got V2, so this is the second rendition of this deck. It is some Allen grub screws, and then of course he's got those signature, the captain, Richard, told me what the actual name would be for this, but I call them the oblong posts. They're great for multi-cord fused or aliens, or even like the staggered fuse. Basically your bigger, chunkier coils, because they tend to be flat. And I know if he comments on this, he'll tell me what it's called again, but I can't remember. And then of course you have your center 510s through here. If you put in the squonk pin, it will not squonk through the top here. There's actually a nice gap under this whole block, and what it is the pin has a hole down towards the bottom. So when if you use it in squonk mode, it's just going to flood the whole base deck through here. But essentially right here, you'll see your peak insulators down in there, attaches to the block here. So you have your positives here and your negatives are here. And the Allen it does come with is not for the grub screws. It's actually for the 510. So I use my own to fit into there. I can't tell you off the top of my head what size that really is. If it'll show up on camera, I don't think it does. It's kind of your standard larger Allen instead of the smaller one. But of course the screws go in and out very nice, very good machining there. And then everything's really smooth. And if you see any goofy fuzzy stuff, that's from me. So definitely not from Unicorn. Now, what we're going to build on these, I did pre-cut these. I'm going to put some of the AJ Holland's coils up in here, mainly because they are a nice thinner, in my opinion, than I usually use a lot of triple C's. His are definitely a much hotter build, or this is a more tame build. So there are a couple juices that I do want to use in this one versus the Triple C coil setups. His run really, really warm, which I normally like, but on some juices it kind of a little too warm, and I want to throw this definitely on a mech. Now, I did cut these to 5mm, so what that should look like when you throw them in, and I'm not 100% yet if that's going to be the exact coil leg length, but from what it looks like to me is way I would like to do this is it's going to be more of an under airflow option under the coil. So what I did is kind of looked at it here, and I'm going to take, and once I, of course, get them secured in, pinch them, pulse them, get them glowing evenly, I'll even pull them probably a little more to the outside, and looking at that should be able to hit the coil pretty much primarily mostly under it, and that should deliver some pretty killer flavors. So like I said, if you want to, you could start at 6 to get them even higher, so you also have more room to pull them out if you need to. But I started mine at 5. Some people might actually even tell you to go down to 4 or so, because they'll want that airflow hitting more of the side of the coil than actually trying to come up and under. I'm a fan of trying to get side/under flow more than just directly onto the sides. All right, let's get this going. All right, we are back on top with the Tannhauzer V2, however you want to pronounce that one. So, first off, I know you can get it pretty much, not even pretty much, I'm 99% certain, only from Unicorn himself, Unicorn Mods. They are out of Canada, so you definitely want to check, of course, with all of our vape mail ban restrictions and stuff to see if they can even ship to you before you make the order. Or, of course, if you're in the UK or other places that watch me, you're good to go. So, so definitely. Remember, also, it's anything coming to the US. A lot of people have had a lot of questions lately, like, hey, that means you can't send me stuff, or, so on and so forth. It's only incoming into the States, not outgoing. So definitely remember that if you are in the States and you have a friend in the UK, in Canada, they have their own restrictions, but they don't have their just outright ban. So definitely make sure that you are aware of that information. Anything can go out. It's only import, not export. So, but this is a Canadian company, so you're definitely have to check to see how you can get a hold of it if you can. It's about $60 US. It is available in this matte black or the stainless steel, and the pros and cons we'll go over with that real quick. First off, I love the fact it uses silver 510s. Love those. It's basically it's going to be about the hardest hitting, at least from the RDA standpoint, that you can think of. You might have to match it up to mods to get ultra hard hitting, but with the Vert it does really well.
I've tried it on a couple other of the mechs, and they all do really, really well. The Vert and I want to say the Hydra and I think the Suicide were probably about the hardest hitting ones that I put it on. So, and those are two basically side fires and one consistent contact. So, pro for me is that drip tip. That drip tip is amazing. But I know there are people out there like Spring UGA Girl reviews do not like those kind of tips. So that can be either a pro or con to you. For me, huge pro. I love that thing. It's awesome. Even I think just a touch lower than the Kennedy stub dog tips. When it comes to ease of build, it is very simple. Throw in your coils and, vape right away. If you don't think it's got enough flavor or it's maybe got a little bit of a whistle or something, play around with the placement. Where I have them was about the best for me. They are pretty much straight up. They're kind of cocked off to the side a touch, but nothing too crazy at all. And as you see, I just dripped on the review. Oops. So, oopsies. But anyway, so it really depends on, what you're trying to get out of it. It's nice because it is a very open type of deck that you can affect your flavor, your airflow, even kind of the whistling. If you get any whistling out of it, I did when I had them too far in. But that's, with any open deck like this, it's going to happen. So play with your coil placements. I will have to say where I cut them, I believe right at the 5mm is best for me, because even if I want to move them out or bring them in, there's not an issue that they're too high or too short. I definitely wouldn't go any shorter than that. Again, my preference, I like to try to get some under airflow in there on the coils. So, but for me, right there was perfect. 5mm bent out just a touch, just a touch. Let's see, cons, some RDAs, when they try to do something very open like this, they don't put the lock in there. This one has the lock. So again, another pro. We got the drip tip. We got the airflow is very simplistic on what it does. Just a slit on each side and just slowly close it down, open it up. So, man, this one's kind of a hard one to figure out any cons, really. There's Latin on it. I don't speak Latin, so maybe for some, being a 24, not a 25 might be a big deal. To me, again, the cons, 24 over 25, and then of course the drip tip, those are very subjective cons. So technically, in a nutshell, I have no cons with this RDA. I think Poison Blood and Unicorn did a really good job with this RDA overall. So if you can get it in your state/country, definitely go grab one of these guys, and I don't think you're going to be disappointed. But that is all I got today for the Tannhauzer Gate V2 RDA from Unicorn and Poison Blood. I just want to thank each and every one of you yet again for coming to Vape with a Viking, and I'll check you later.